Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
Every woman lied when they came forward to hurt my campaign. Total fabrication. The events never happened. Never. All of these liars will be sued after the election is over. But a simple phone call placed to the biggest newspapers or television networks gets them wall-to-wall coverage with virtually no fact-checking whatsoever. Here is why this is relevant to you. If they can fight somebody like me, who has unlimited resources to fight back, just look at what they can do to you. Your jobs, your security, your education, your health care, the violation of religious liberty, the theft of your Second Amendment, the loss of your factories, your homes, and much more. Look at what they've done to you with your jobs.
Oh my God, these women are so powerful.
I'm not a politician.
These women are super, super powerful. Wow, they did this to him, and now they could do the... Oh my God, can you believe this is the Gettysburg Address he decided to give? This is it. I haven't seen a weekend that bad at Gettysburg since Robert E. Lee in 1863. Oh my God, what was that? And that's how it started, this whole fabulous 100 days of what he would do. I just, he just can't stop himself is what it is. It always has to be about him and how he's been wronged and how he's the one to fix it and how he's the one that, what was that speech? And suing the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same as Lincoln's. It's identical. It was just, wow, it was almost theft. It was almost a Michelle Obama, Melania situation. Yeah, all these liars will be sued when the election is over. So basically, Donald Trump's first 100 days as president will include a purge of women, attractive ones, who he has, molested. I don't, or anybody he considers an enemy. He's going to, it's very Saddam Hussein, isn't it? It really is. It's just an amazing thing. All right. So the other part of what he said that was really overlooked. Okay, this is crazy. This was totally overlooked by the media. Completely and utterly overlooked. But Donald Trump finally, after 15 meandering minutes of saying that our democracy is a sham, our elections are bogus, everything is rigged. Everybody's against him. The whole country is wrong. He's the only person who's right. Even the Republican Party who has left him. Kelly Ayotte saying, I made a mistake, saying that he's a role model. Other people who've endorsed him now taking their endorsements back. The Independent in Utah who has put ruby red Utah in play. Former CIA operative, Goldman Sachs executive, Evan McCollum, he's an idiot too. Donald Trump's the only smart guy. And this, if you don't elect him, America comes to a screeching halt and it ends and you won't have another chance. He's a once in a lifetime candidate. And if not him, it won't be anybody. And if not now, it will never happen because America is just a never was, wannabe, has been, country. It's a third world nation. It's dark. It's dank. People live in hell. The streets are dangerous. There's predators everywhere, in Trump Tower. And, so this is it. So the first thing he decided to tell you he would do is purge America of anybody who disagrees with him. Great. That's really great. But then he got to the actual meat on his bone and said what the 100 days would look like. And you know what he did? He did a 180 on the wall. Now, you Trump supporters, how did you not catch that? And apparently, you didn't, because they're definitely in contact with me, the Trump supporters. They're all over my social media. They're everywhere now, which is good because we've invited you. And the overarching question for you is, when will you get tired of being wrong? But never mind that. What you missed with all your conversations with me over the weekend, except for Saturday night, I had a wedding. Amy got married. Amy got married, and I had a giant sty in my eye. Of course I did. Because I got super dressed up. I still got hit on by 30-year-olds, though. Big time bad. First time I thought it was a compliment. Second time I thought it was a compliment. 10th time I was like, you know what? I'm 70. I'm 70 years old. My husband in there is 80. My mother is 95. Leave us alone. And they were like, no way, dude. It's like, yeah, go in the corner and do some more drugs. But here's the thing that you guys missed. And it is guys, because women will not vote for Donald Trump. So I can, this was Donald Trump in Gettysburg, making his, and the government of the people, by the people, for the people shall not perish from the earth caliber speech. Okay, he said, we're going to pay for the wall. Oh, yeah. He said he's going to go to Congress and ask for the money to start and build the wall. And then Mexico will somehow magically, like unicorns and leprechauns, will somehow magically fork over the cash after we've built this wall. They will pay us after we borrow the money, pay the interest on that borrowed money. They'll somehow, on the back end, pay for the wall. Listen.
End Illegal Immigration Act. Fully funds the construction of a wall on our southern border. Don't worry about it. Remember, I said Mexico's paying for the wall.
Right.
With the full understanding that the country of Mexico will be reimbursing the United States for the full cost of such a wall. Okay?
You freaking liar, you. Wow, what a flip-flop that was. I think he met with President Pena, who he called President Taco or President Salsa, or I couldn't get, and he choked. Remember, he choked. They asked him, did you bring up Mexico paying for the wall? And he said, no. And he said, but, I can promise you they're going to pay for the wall. And a whole Twitter war ensued. Remember that? Well, apparently, we're paying for the wall. This is no different than previous immigration bills that had funds to build a fence along certain parts of the border that are currently unfenced. Hillary voted for an immigration bill like that. Comprehensive. It was 2006. Go check it out. Go look for yourself. Don't believe a word I say. Why would you? Why would you? I know the company I keep. Everybody on the radio. I'm not on the radio anymore, thank God. I refuse to work for corporate America. But everybody that does on the radio, thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of nothing but conspiracy theories and right-wing lunacy saying that women who want their contraception paid for are prostitutes, remember. They're whores, and they need to, supply us with the sex tapes for all the sex they're having with the contraception, or else we're just going to limit it to just paying for men's Viagra, Rush Limpballs. Right? So why should you believe me? I tell you, don't believe a word I say. Go look it up. Look at all the immigration bills that failed in the Republican House, in the Republican Congress, in the Senate. Go look at every attempt at comprehensive immigration reform that failed. Go ahead. Go look at the funding for fencing that failed because the Republicans would do absolutely nothing while Obama was president. Period. End of story. Which is so important to note. Because now when we go to vote, and it looks like I'm going to guess 307 electoral votes for Hillary, 179 for douchebag. I'm just going to guess, okay? Just saying. But she needs a Congress. She does. She needs a Senate. Now, we won't be able to stop the filibuster. There aren't that many open seats, but we will be able to have a majority. And I think that sends a very strong message to the recalcitrant Republicans that they better do their work, because they haven't done any in, 10 years. They haven't done anything. Nothing. So, the whole wall thing is it's destroyed. I'm gonna rewind this just ever so slightly. We can
that the country of Mexico will be reimbursing the United States for the full cost of such a wall. Okay?
No, it's not okay. You freaking lied. You never said we were paying and they would reimburse. You said they would pay. You were such a great bumbling businessman that you could sell ice to Eskimos, that you could, sell heat wraps in hell. Okay? That's what you said. Now all of a sudden, they'll reimburse. I'm gonna go to Congress and I'm gonna put the bill in and we'll pay for it. And then they'll reimburse us somewhere in the future. No. What he did say, though, was he would be suing people after the election is over. And he would slash taxes on the rich. And he would pull out of climate change agreements. And he would destroy NATO on behalf of Vladimir Putin, who isn't a member of NATO. Okay, and he would sue all his accusers. And when you put all this in context, suing his accusers is the thing that would do the least amount of damage to the United States. So you know what? Good for you. Go sue the accusers. Go sue them. And I'll tell you something else. If he doesn't sue them after the election, whether he loses or not, if he doesn't sue them, that's because they were telling the truth. So let's watch for that. Because when Donald Trump loses, he may, somewhat go away. But his supporters won't. He has inflicted this poison. He has, the amount of vitriol that's out there, the amount of hatred, the amount of trash talking this country, the amount of doubt about our democracy and whether or not it works and whether or not, ballots actually get counted, and the lack of understanding that the federal government doesn't run our elections. Your county runs your county's election, and your county has an election supervisor that you elected. That person runs your county elections. And then all the county supervisors in your state, they phone the Secretary of State with all the results. And then your Secretary of State in your state actually says, this is certified, and therefore this slate of electors will cast their ballot for that candidate when they get to Congress. That's all that happened. There is no federal election system in this country. There is no way to rig an election in this country. There is absolutely no mechanism known to man that could, Florida has 67 counties. How much rigging do you think is going on? They're insane, these people, and they've been poisoned by, Donald Trump isn't really, he's not the disease. He's like the giant boil on your ass that tells you that you have a disease. But you've had the disease all along. He's just the symptom. The oozing pussy gravy sore. The necrotic, crusty sore that makes you say, that person is sick. That person's got a disease. That's all Donald Trump is. And when this thing is over in 14 days... those people will still be among us. And this matters because the kind of government we deserve and haven't had since Barack Obama lost the midterm election because Democrats stayed home in 2010 must die. That Congress must be retired and put into the dustbin of history. And we need to select people who can work with a Democratic president who's kind of centrist. These Tea Party fanatics, these Tea Party freaks, these people who only vote on Second Amendment issues and not all the other ones, as Donald Trump put it. When Donald Trump was asked about the Constitution and what kind of Supreme Court justices he would select, he said ones that would respect and uphold the Second Amendment and all the other ones. He doesn't understand anything about how our government works. He doesn't understand anything about how elections are run. He doesn't understand anything about who we are, what we want, where we live, how we live, and how we manage to stay so freaking cheerful. He doesn't get it. Now, the people that are supporting Trump, they say they didn't support Bush. That's bullshit. You were so wrong about him that you have now decided to bury your little head in the sand about supporting him at the top of your voices. And when people like me said, don't believe a word I say, but look it up, that man, or write it down, that man's going to take us to war. We are going to bomb Iraq. He's going to get even for what his daddy, couldn't do. He's going to lower taxes. He's going to bankrupt us. Our economy's going to go bust. And it did. All those things happened. Every last one of them happened to the point where that president, 42 or 40, God, I'm losing track. That president, Bush 43, doesn't even show his face anymore.
Clear for takeoff.
Randi Rhodes Air Force.
Air Force.
RandiRhodes.com.